Hey there, history fans, and welcome back to today's history. It's May 13th, and this date has seen it all. Epic battles, royal drama, world-changing speeches, and acts of faith and defiance, from the bloody seas of the Crusades to the powerful words of Winston Churchill, from sacred visions in Portugal to a shocking moment in Vatican City. Every story today echoes through time. So buckle up, we're traveling through centuries in just a few minutes. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Crusaders defeat the Turkish fleet at the Battle of Pallene. 1344. Let's go back to the year 1344. During the Smyrna Crusades, a series of campaigns by Latin Christian powers to push back Turkish forces from Asia Minor, a critical naval battle took place. On May 13th, near the peninsula of Pallene in the Aegean Sea, a Crusader fleet composed of ships from Venice, the Papal States, and other Christian allies confronted a much larger Turkish fleet. Despite being outnumbered, the Crusaders leveraged superior tactics, coordination, and more advanced ships to claim a decisive victory. The defeat weakened Turkish naval power in the region and allowed the Crusaders to reinforce their hold on key coastal positions, especially around the vital city of Smyrna. This victory didn't just shift control of the sea, it symbolized the growing strength and coordination of Christian maritime forces in the eastern Mediterranean, and it would echo throughout the rest of the Crusader efforts in the 14th century. Chapter 2. Mary, Queen of Scots, defeated and flees to England. 1568. On May 13, 1568, one of the most dramatic turning points in Scottish history unfolded, the Battle of Langside. Mary, Queen of Scots, who had been recently forced to abdicate in favour of her infant son James VI, gathered an army of loyal supporters to reclaim her throne. Marching toward Dumbarton Castle, a safe haven where she could regroup, Mary's forces were intercepted by a Protestant army loyal to the regent, her half-brother James Stuart, Earl of Moray. The battle was brief but decisive. Mary's army was overwhelmed by superior tactics and positioning. Her hopes of regaining power crumbled in a matter of minutes. Defeated and desperate, she fled south into England seeking protection from her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I, but instead of aid, Mary was imprisoned. This battle effectively ended her attempts to regain the Scottish crown and set the stage for a long and tragic captivity, ultimately leading to her execution nearly 2 decades later. Chapter 3. The U.S. declares war on Mexico. 1846. On May 13, 1846, the United States Congress officially declared war on Mexico, marking the beginning of the Mexican-American War. Tensions had been simmering for months over the annexation of Texas and the disputed southern border along the Rio Grande. When Mexican and American troops clashed near the river, President James K. Polk used the incident to rally support for military action. Many Americans saw the war as an opportunity to fulfill the idea of manifest destiny, the belief that the U.S. was destined to expand from coast to coast. But not everyone agreed. Figures like Abraham Lincoln and Henry David Thoreau criticized the war, calling it an unjust land grab. Despite the controversy, the conflict reshaped the map of North America. After 2 years of fighting, Mexico lost nearly half its territory, including present-day California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, in what would become one of the largest land acquisitions in U.S. history. Chapter 4. Brazil abolishes slavery. 1888. On May 13, 1888, Brazil took a monumental step toward human rights by officially abolishing slavery. Princess Isabel, acting as regent for her father Emperor Pedro II, signed the Lei Áurea, or Golden Law, into effect. With just 2 short articles, it declared all slaves in Brazil to be free, without any compensation to former slaveholders. This historic act made Brazil the last country in the Western Hemisphere to abolish slavery, ending a brutal system that had lasted for over 300 years and affected millions of lives. The move was celebrated by abolitionists across the globe and marked a turning point in Brazil's national identity. However, freedom didn't mean equality. Former slaves faced poverty, discrimination, and a lack of opportunity in a society still shaped by its colonial past. Still, May 13th remains a symbol of resistance, resilience, and the ongoing fight for social justice in Brazil's history. Chapter 5. The apparition of Our Lady of Fátima, 1917. On May 13, 1917, something extraordinary was said to have happened in the small Portuguese village of Fátima. Three shepherd children, Elsie dos Santos and her cousins Jacinta and Francisco Marto, claimed to witness an apparition of the Virgin Mary. According to the children, she appeared surrounded by radiant light and delivered messages calling for prayer, penance, and devotion to God. The news spread rapidly, and soon thousands began making pilgrimages to the site, despite skepticism and opposition from authorities. Over the next few months, the children reported several more apparitions, each one drawing larger crowds. The events culminated in the famous miracle of the sun on October 13th, when tens of thousands claimed to witness the sun dance and shift in the sky. Whether viewed as a divine miracle or a powerful moment of faith, the apparitions of Fátima became one of the most significant religious events of the 20th century, cementing the site as a global pilgrimage destination. Chapter 6. Winston Churchill's iconic blood, toil, tears and sweat. 1940. On May 13, 1940, Winston Churchill stood before the British House of Commons to deliver his first speech as Prime Minister. Facing the rise of Nazi Germany and the fall of much of Europe, the United Kingdom stood virtually alone. Churchill didn't promise peace or comfort. Instead, he gave a stark warning of the struggle ahead. His exact words became immortal. "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat." This wasn't just rhetoric. It was a rallying cry that steeled a nation for the brutal war to come. Churchill's honesty, determination, and powerful oratory inspired not just Britain but the world. His speech marked a turning point in morale and leadership, setting the tone for the resistance that would ultimately help defeat tyranny. More than 8 decades later, those iconic words still symbolize courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Chapter 7. Pope John Paul II survives assassination attempt. 1981. On May 13, 1981, a horrifying moment unfolded in St. Peter's Square, Vatican City. Pope John Paul II, waving to thousands of pilgrims from his open-top vehicle, was suddenly shot by Turkish gunman Mehmet Ali Aca. The bullet struck him in the abdomen and hand, and for a moment, the world held its breath. He was rushed into emergency surgery, and against all odds, he survived. But what shocked the world even more came later. The Pope visited Aca in prison and forgave him. That extraordinary act of mercy defined not only John Paul II's character, but also his unwavering belief in reconciliation. The assassination attempt wasn't just a personal crisis, it was a global moment that revealed the vulnerability of world leaders and the incredible strength of faith. To this day, May 13th stands as a chilling reminder of violence and a powerful testament to forgiveness. Chapter 8. Hunger strikes begin at Tiananmen Square. 1989. On May 13, 1989, thousands of Chinese students gathered in Beijing's Tiananmen Square and began a series of hunger strikes. These brave young men and women weren't just protesting for themselves, they were calling for sweeping democratic reforms, government transparency, and an end to widespread corruption. As their peaceful demonstrations drew global attention, the square became a symbol of hope, courage, and resistance. The students' determination sparked solidarity across China, with citizens from all walks of life joining the movement. But what began with optimism and idealism would soon take a dark and tragic turn. Though the hunger strikes captured the world's admiration, they also set the stage for one of the most heavily censored and violently suppressed uprisings in modern history. Tiananmen became not just a place, but a symbol of both the power of protest and the price of freedom. May 13th has shown us how a single day can hold fierce battles, revolutionary speeches, divine visions, and moments that shake the world. If you found today's journey through time inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated. History is happening every day, and we'll be here to tell its story. Thanks for watching today's history. See you tomorrow.